everybody, I hope you're having a warm day. It's super cold here. We don't have any snow quite yet, but it's supposed to be on its way. We'll see. So today I'm basically finishing up the last of my kitchen organizational videos. I'm going to show you how I organize my cookbooks, my spice cabinet, and my herb garden. Now there's not much organization with the herb garden. It actually needs maintenance that I haven't done yet. But I'll kind of show you, the herb area and kind of let you get a feel for what I have in my kitchen in terms of plants. They need some maintenance. So let's go have a look at things and I'll be back to wrap it up when we're done. So this is my cookbook shelf in the kitchen. Now I know a lot of people have, like I said, went to digital recipes. I do that, of course, and also from Pinterest and all that, but there's no way I could ever get rid of any of my cookbooks. Some of them have such meaning to me. Now, I do have a box out in the garage of my culinary school binders, if you will. And those binders have a lot of notes, a lot of food splatters, and I don't really keep them in the house. Now, if there's some new technique or a baking technique that I need to refresh on, I will definitely, go out there and dig around, and it's not organized. It's a complete mess, but I've carried those throughout the years. But these are my main everyday cookbooks, if you will, and some of them came from odd places, and some of them my mom has got, and some of them were actually my ex-husband's. A lot of them are mine, so I'll kind of walk you through some of them. Now, how I've got it set up, this is an old baker's rack that I've had for so many years. My sister-in-law gave this to Scott and I have held on to this thing for like 10 years and just continued to use it. Looks a little beat up, but not too bad. And on the top shelf, I have some of my bigger books. This is low fat, low calorie, low cholesterol, light cooking. This was actually a book that one of my ex-boyfriends was selling when he was in high school. So that should tell you how long that book is. I have both of my Julia Child books right here. These are two of my favorite, Mastering the Art of French Cooking, Volume 1 and Volume 2. My Nigella Express Cookbook by Nigella Lawson. And in the middle, I have some of my smaller cookbooks. We have the London Cookbook from my mom, which has some amazing recipes. One of the Rachel Ray just-in-time cookbooks. We have Robin to the Rescue. These are some of the people I used to watch and still watch on the Food Netbook. My mom got me a cannabis cookbook. She's funny like that. I have the Yummo Rachel Ray cookbook. I have the Jada de Laurentiis. I also have the Ninja cookbook. And what's funny about this one is my mom and I were just talking about this cookbook today. She was telling me it has some amazing recipes. I've not tried any, but I probably will now that she's told me about them. I have my Sandra Lee homemade cookbook. This is a cupcake baking book. Over here, this is such a great book for anybody in the kitchen. It's called Julia's Kitchen Wisdom, Essential Techniques and Recipes from a Lifetime of Cooking. This book has so many tips and interesting things in it. I highly suggest it to any foodie who really likes cooking. Secrets of the White House Kitchens. I thought I was going to do a series and cook almost all the recipes out of here. It's got some amazing recipes that date back to, I don't remember the first president in here, but we can look real quick. This was a gift from my mom. My mom loves buying me cookbooks because she knows I use them. Let's see. Who was the first president in this book? So, Roosevelt. So there's recipes from Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Lady Bird Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. So that is a very interesting cookbook. And then, I'll put my Julia back on top. And then I always keep my Martha Stewart Homekeeping Handbook right here. It's big and it helps hold up those books right there. Have another Cupcake Heaven book, and then I have Baking Boot Camp, which is a wonderful book if you're just learning to bake. I have this book, which is a healthy homestyle type of cookbook. And then on this shelf, these are a lot of books that just came into my possession. These are some cookbooks from my deceased grandmother, my deceased mother-in-law, And I just kept them. So this is nice and easy. 1, 2, and 3. They're not really in order, obviously. There's the Pillsbury Family Christmas Cookbook, the Pillsbury Bake Off, Slim and Healthy right there, Glorious Garnishes, Pasta and Sauces. These were books that, you know, I just got. And then here is, I love these little books you can find at the grocery store. They have some great menus in here and awesome ideas. Now these 2 cookbooks are my ex-husband's, and I offered to give them back to him, but he told me to keep them till later, so I have. This was his father's, who is no longer with us. Bull Cook and Authentic Historical Recipes and Practices. And his dad actually made notes in here and stuff. Now, I don't eat, like, game food that you hunt or anything. It's just not me. I wonder what this was. Oh, this was his fish that my father-in-law used to smoke his catfish. Now, I never ate catfish. I can't stand it, but it smelled amazing. He's got notes in here on his own. That's my father-in-law's handwriting, or my ex-father-in-law, my ex-deceased father-in-law. And so I've just kept these for my ex-husband or my daughter or my son whenever they're older. Here's another one that was his. This one is the LL Bean Game and Fish Cookbook. So I just held on to those. These were other books. I think some of these were my mom's Secrets of Fat-Free Baking. This is another one my mom got me. My mom gets me some of the most awesome cookbooks. The Best Top Secret Recipes, and it does have some amazing recipes in it. This is Richard Simmons. This is, oh, I got this a long time ago. I love Vidalia onions. So this is like a cookbook of, you know, just Vidalia onion recipes. And then there's a Weight Watchers. I have no idea where that came from, and I've never cooked from it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have a home right here on this shelf. And then, I don't know how this got underneath. It's an old dessert menu or recipe book. So these are just like hand-me-downs almost on the second shelf. And they mean a lot to me. Because like my grandmother and stuff would make notes in these cookbooks. And so there's all kinds, like you just saw in that other one, random notes that, you know, mean something. I love the handwritten notes. So over here on this side is some larger books. This is my Baking with Julia, another fabulous book. One Dish Meals, made a lot of menus from there. One of my most favorite books of all time, cookbooks that is, The Amish Cook at Home. This one is a dessert book, 100% Pleasure. I also keep vegetable gardening for dummies for my herb garden. I just keep it here because it's convenient. It should be up actually in the office, but it's here. These are my Savior magazines, and I keep those here because they have amazing recipes, and I go through them all the time, and I just keep all the ones I get. And here is another very old recipe book from, I think my grandmother. I'm not sure. Let me look. I got so many. I got some other cookbooks too. Look at how old these are. So they do have some amazing recipes in here, and I believe this was my great-grandmother's, and I just kept it, and I continue to keep it. I don't really cook a ton out of it, but it just lives there and part of me, part of my life. So, you know, this area does have a tendency to get cluttered up sometimes. Sometimes my husband will come in and drop keys and receipts, and I'm going to be doing zone cleaning, and this would be one of those areas that sometimes can get cluttered up that I make, you know, time to clean up every night, so, you know, we don't allow it to get overtaken by just junk. So, oh, and then on this shelf, on the bottom of the shelf, I have where wine would go. I have different thermoses and such, and then my little wine carrying case in case I ever go to friends or wherever. I can carry my wine with me in a little case. And that is my cookbooks. So let me, and they're not organized like what you would think alphabetically or anything like that. It's mainly books that I love on top, books that's been passed down to me in the middle, and larger books and magazines on the bottom shelf. So right next to the baker's rack, I have my little deep freeze. I just stored fruit on top, and our freezer was filling up, so I needed to bring this in from the garage, and we're using it now. It's been a couple years. We just had it sitting out in the garage and didn't use it, but we're using it now. And then right beside it is my Oasis Island. Now, my mom bought this for me a few years back when I didn't have a big kitchen island. And this is great. However, I don't keep anything on the bottom shelf because of the kitty cats. They usually like to sleep there. Anything on the first shelf, I have a lid for that I keep. So I have some other bowls with lids, but I'm using them right now that, you know, kind of live there, but only things with lids. And then on the side, I have some of my everyday skillets. These are emerald skillets. I don't remember this one, but my husband got this one. So they just hang there for convenience. However, with all the animals in the house, I do rinse them out really well before I use them. And then on this side, I just found a grill like hanging thing that hooks onto the side of your grill because I needed more hooks on the side. Now, I hang my tongs here. These are just my Rachel Ray lazy tongs. And then I have a different, you know, some different collection of whisk because I used to collect whisk, and I have a box of different size ones out in the garage that I don't use very much. But these are so nice. I love them. I use them often, and I'm thankful I have them. And then I have my Spanish juicer. This is so impressive. This is one of those kitchen gadgets that I love. It's easy to use on my hands. And I have my little sifter right here. So that just lives there. And then on the top is my adorable owl cookie jar. This says live well, laughed often, loved much. It has salt and pepper shakers. But I don't keep cookies in it. I don't really keep anything in it. And it just kind of lives there. I got that at the Cracker Barrel. Okay, so the cabinet right here next to the microwave and the right, you know, catty corner from the stove is my spice cabinet. So this is how I organize it. Let me get on a chair because it'd be so much easier to show you. So I think any well-stocked spice cabinet is essential in any kitchen. Now, you don't have to go out and buy all these at once. Usually, like my collection, you have to really, you know, acquire over some time without spending a ton of money. Now, these are just part of my spices. I have spices in my pantry, too, that stay in a separate little bin. And you can check my pantry organizational video out right here. But on this first shelf, I have a Lazy Susan. Now, this is perfect because it holds most of my McCormick spices and seasonings. And it turns so easy. So, you know, I have a lot of different spices, and trying to find the right way to store them is hard, but this has worked out beautifully, and I absolutely love it. And over here I have some truffle salt. So I'm not going to go through, I'll just kind of pan through and let you see the different spices that I have. I'm just kind of letting you have a look. My dillweed needs to be wiped off. So, I was running out of room, but, you know, I have more in the middle. I kind of know what's in the middle, so I don't really worry that much about it. But I can see these perfect. I can turn them around. My husband, if he's cooking, he can find spices easy on the shelf, and it's just really convenient. So I highly suggest a Lazy Susan for your most used spices, so you're not like fumbling through the cabinet trying to find the stuff that you need. Now, moving on up to the second shelf, I have a stair stepper. I can't open my cabinet anymore. I know the lighting's changing a little bit. I have a stair stepper. So you have one level, two levels, and the next level, the third. And it holds more of my everyday spices. So I keep my small ones in front. My wasabi paste. I keep my medium ones in the middle, and my larger bottles in the back. So this is another one of those great storage options to make more room in your cabinet where you can see the spices kind of stacked up. Underneath here, I keep these tropical, you know, herbs and spices because they fit perfect. See how they slide under? I have 4 different ones under there. And I don't know, I bought these at my grocery store and I'm trying to use them up. Over on this side, I keep more large items. So I have some of the Lighthouse freeze-dried basil. This is one of my favorite brands of herbs. It really is. You usually can find these in your deli, or at least I can, or in the produce area, actually. And they just live here. I only have 2 of those. I want to get some more, though. And then I have different blends here that I love. This is the Coastal blend. This is the Tuscany. These are salt blends, perfect for fish and different poultry dishes. And here is the Hickory Woods Rub. This is amazing. These came from the Spice Tea Exchange in Tampa, Florida. So I love those, and they live right there in that little spot. I also have 2 more spices and my big peppercorn meal, or peppercorn, whole peppercorns in the back. And some of the, you know, different spices. There's chili powders and garlic powders and chili flakes. There's all kinds of stuff. So that is my second shelf. Let me get these little blends right back to where they go, so I don't have to worry about it later. They just fit in perfectly right here, and that's their home. So as you can see, everything has a place, and it's really important to try to maintain that just for your own peace of mind. On the third shelf, it's just more random stuff. Now, I am short. I didn't see that we had a honey, so I just bought another one. But I keep our honey up here, like our big, you know, pink salt pepper mill. I also keep lots of different salt and pepper shakers. I have a ton of those. And I keep a lot of this Creole seasoning because we have a Louisiana child. And Scott's son lives in Louisiana. But when he's here, he loves that Tony's seasoning, the Creole seasoning. So I think I have 3 total. Those are for Zane. And that is just pretty much, you know, larger items I don't grab for every single day. So that is my spice cabinet, friends. I hope it's given you some ideas of how I store stuff. I think the Lazy Susan is incredible for convenience, neatness, organization. It really holds everything so nice. This is super nice for organization because it stair steps your spices where you can see them. And I keep a lot of my larger stuff on top. So there you have that. Last but not least, these are my herbs and like my little kitchen herb garden. So over here I have rosemary, and there's basil. This is thyme back here. No, that's oregano, I'm sorry. This is a plant, I don't know, I got it at CVS a while back. Parsley and thyme right there. So a couple of these are looking kind of bad. One, the housekeeper that we hired did not water the plants as she was supposed to while we were gone to Florida over Christmas. So that kind of weakened them up a little bit. Plus they're by these windows, but they do not open. But, you know, there is a cold draft, so trying to keep them alive in the winter is not always so easy. But it's not that, you know, cold right here. We have a vent like right above. So, even with plants or herbs that have gotten a little dry, now this is fully watered, but even with plants that's gotten a little bit dry like that, don't fret over it. Just keep it watered because they're going to rebloom, I promise. It's just like when you plant herbs outside. They die off in the winter and then they come back. So that will come back as long as you keep the roots, you know, moist. So, you know, I love basil, and this tree is massive. And in the spring, I'll be cutting all these back, and I'll also be taking cuttings out to the little garden area that we're going to make. So, I'm going to actually have an herb garden outside and probably one inside. I just think that herbs in the kitchen are beautiful, and I've had so many compliments over this window, especially when, you know, that basil is at its fullest. It just needs to be trimmed back. But I'm going to show you how I preserve a lot of that basil. And a plant that size really needs to be watered every single day. And I usually just put them in the sink, which does make a bit of a mess because a lot of the, you know, basil leaves and dried leaves fall off. But, you know, the sink is the best place, and sometimes I just leave them overnight. And that is the last thing that I'm going to show you. Now, in the spring, I'll show you how I cut them back, how I, you know, plant them outside and all that good stuff. But not a whole lot of organization in the plants. I just have 3 red ones on one side or 3 red pots on the other side. So that is how I like to organize our kitchen herbs. So let me go ahead and get back in front of the camera and finish this long video up. So I hope that gives you some ideas of how I organize my cookbooks and the spices. You had a look at those sad plants. And you don't have to use anything that I've shown you. Hopefully you'll get some ideas, though, on how to make things more organized and effective in your home. So if you don't have, you know, a lot of space, you can store cookbooks and such in a different room. Some people are going strictly digital and saving their recipes online and not having cookbooks. I really couldn't imagine that, though. And you know, you can always check out books at the library too if you need some new recipe books and don't want to like invest a lot. Just go to the library and see what you can find. You'll be shocked at how many wonderful recipe books there will be in your local library. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any requests of different videos you want to see. I'll be more than happy to try to accommodate you. We're going to start in our zone cleaning very, very soon. And I'm totally excited about it. I hope you guys are getting your homes tidied up so we can jump into zone 1, which is our entranceway and front porch. So I will show you how I deep clean those areas. I'm not going to be like scrubbing carpets. That's not going to happen on film because it's too much work, and usually my husband does it. And no, we're not doing carpet cleaning in any of the zone cleaning. But we will be doing lots of other cleaning. So I hope you join up. Be sure to let me know if you join either via my Facebook fan page, my Facebook personal page, or friends on there, Twitter, Instagram. Just let me know how your zone cleaning is going, and I'll be really excited to see those photos because I just know so many of you guys want to see it. You've requested those videos. You know I'm setting up the tripod and really showing you. Sometimes I'll be holding the camera. I mean, it's going to have to happen at times. So definitely excited for those videos to be popping up. And I hope that it, you know, helps you guys keep your homes a little more tidy. My home is not always clean. But I do my best to pick it up. If I stay on my routine and on my schedule, I will have, you know, a nice looking home. But sometimes we fall off balance. And if that happens, we just get back up on the horse the very next day and start all over again. So don't beat yourself up too bad if, you know, you fall behind a little bit. Just catch up when you can and jump in whenever you want. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.